This is CGTN, China Global Television Network.
Good morning and welcome to The World Today on CGTN. I'm Dongning in Beijing. Today marks the 60th anniversary of democratic reform in China's Tibet Autonomous Region, and a commemoration is being held in Lhasa, capital city of the region. Our reporter Yang Jinghao has been following this in Lhasa in Tibet, and he will take us closer to the event. Hello there, Jinghao. Good morning. What's the atmosphere like there? I see people are gathering in front of the Potala Palace. Anything special about the commemoration?
Hi, Tony. Behind me, you can see a national flag raising ceremony is just underway. And behind me, actually, you can clearly see the Potala Palace, the landmark of Tibet and also the highest palace in the world. And today, behind we can see that thousands of local Tibetans from different walks of life, including local farmers and herdsmen, students, government employees, and some Buddhists gather here to witness the very special moment, 60th anniversary after the grain feudal system was completely abolished. And I just asked some of them, some of the attendees, they told me that they are very happy today. It's just like celebrating one of their grandest traditional festivals. And many of them are dressed in their special traditional costumes, very beautiful and very special. And later, some elderly local Tibetans who used to live under serfdom are expected to speak. They are expected to share with us the changes they have witnessed and experienced over the past 60 years. And also government employees from the regional government will also give some speeches, drawing blueprint for the future development for Tibet. And another important agenda for today, a museum to record the old history and the changes of the past 60 years will open to the public after the grand ceremony. That's very important. Dongning.
Right, and as you said, Tibet has experienced big shifts in many areas over the past decades. Can you elaborate more for us in which regards has Tibet experienced?
Yes, actually, this is not my first time to Tibet. It's my third time to this southwestern region. And before I came to the capital city of Lhasa, I also traveled to the city of Shan and Shikadzi. Of course, I enjoyed a lot of beautiful sceneries and felt local people's life. But what really impresses me is my visit to the Pala Manor in the city of Shikadzi. I was really amazed by the beautiful decorations and the luxurious living supplies exhibited in the manor, like the beautiful watches, wines, and all kinds of handbags, both from overseas. Imagine that's like 60 or 70 years ago. And it's easy to see how extravagant the lives of the rich people used to be. Yeah, they're wealthy and rich. And opposite the manor were some lower and shabby houses for the serfs to live in. And there I met an elderly Tibetan man. He told me that he used to live in one of those tiny and dark houses, and he was usually locked there when his parents went to serve the Pala family, and he just tried to escape the dark room, and he was lonely and starving there. And then he brought me to his home today, very big and very well equipped. So actually, it's easy to feel the changes in Tibet over the past years. One figure from local government, the GDP for Tibet in 2018 is about $22 billion. That's about 1,000 times that in 1959. when the democratic reform just started. And but just as local officials said, besides the big changes, the leap over the past decades, Tibet is still faced with various challenges, like how to continuously improve local people's livelihoods and how to continuously improve the ecological environment. Of course, these call for joint efforts from both governments and the local Tibetans. And the local Tibetans said they are confident for the life in the future. Yeah, back to you, Dongning.
Thank you very much, Yang Jinghao reporting from Lhasa in Tibet. And as what he said, Tibet is indeed undergoing incredible changes, especially in its schools. And China's been overhauling education in Tibet, saying it wants to improve the chances of the region's 600,000 students. Part of that approach means teaching students in 2 languages, Tibetan and Mandarin, and moving kids from rural villages to bigger cities. Jonathan Betts has more from Lhasa.
For Janaglu Group, going to class has taken him far from home. The 17-year-old attends a government boarding school 1,400 kilometers away from his village and everything he's ever known. You play basketball here?
Yeah.
Wow. And here's a big question. So, how much do you miss your family? Next year, China plans to close his village's high school. Part of the government's efforts to encourage rural students to attend boarding schools. All expenses paid. $1,600 students, all from a western Tibetan district called Ali, attend this sprawling high school. There are 3 other campuses just like it, and officials plan to build at least 2 more. Administrators insist the bigger cities offer a better education.
Ali is a remote area. It is very difficult to breathe. They cannot eat properly. They cannot sleep properly. To live in Ali is really very difficult, let alone study.
The school is a mix of 2 distinct cultures to help Tibetan students become more competitive. Officials are bringing in staff from across the country to teach in Mandarin.
The basic knowledge is a little bit weak, so the teaching methods are quite different. We have to prepare more here in Lhasa.
It can be a huge adjustment for students like Janaglu Group, who feels most comfortable speaking Tibetan. He showed me around the dorm room he shares with 6 other boys. He doesn't have much, but what he treasures most is a rope sling his mother made. It's used to herd sheep. He doesn't even have a photo of his parents, but he admits they and home are never far from mind. Jonathan Betts, CGTN, Lhasa, Tibet.
You've traveled to places where others couldn't be, seen things others couldn't imagine, and heard stories you can't be sure whether to believe. They say that you're privileged, that people look up to you. But only you know how much effort you've made. You're on the ultimate journey to discover a country with 5,000 years of history and nearly 1.5 billion people. Is it a green countryside or a vast sea of neon lights and skyscrapers? Is it a dangerous land choked with smog or the blue sky of a summer's day? What is this China for you? And what is this China for the rest of the world? CGTN. See the difference.
A journey to the top of the world, to a place few have visited. Join CGTN in Tibet, 60 years after its peaceful liberation. Watch how an ancient land now looks to the future. For 10 days, we travel hundreds of kilometers through remote mountain villages. Come with us as we explore how Tibet is honoring old traditions and embracing new industries. Special coverage from Tibet on CGTN.